Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Hope Alive 8405. Happy holidays to everybody in our communities. We're happy to have you tonight. Tonight, we have the Harris family tonight. We have the Gibbs family tonight. We have the Ramirez family tonight. We have Kim Pound joining us tonight. And we have one of the popular journalists that's going to be joining us tonight, Blaze Gomez, tonight. So she will be on tonight. Next week, it's going to be interesting next week. We have Sharon Tony Finch. She is the founder of the YIT Foundation. They do a lot with the veterans. So we are very happy that they're going to be joining us next week. And we also have Mary Williams. She runs the Western New York Missing Children, Missing Adults out in that area. So she's going to be joining us tonight as well. We're going to get to our updates. Cassandra Ramirez, who went missing in 2018, has still not been found yet. She was last seen on 161st Street in the Bronx. No sign, no nothing of her just of yet. We have Marvin Gibbs, who went missing on 3/29/1985 in Fallsburg, New York. Still missing, no answers yet. We have Omar St. Hill, last seen on 5/7/2020 in Hempstead, New York. There's no answers yet on him. Rochelle Hammond, who went missing August 15, 2017. She went missing, leaving her family's house in Moscow, Colorado. We've been talking to the mom a lot, so hopefully some answers come in that part over there. Stephen Kraft, who went missing on 4/28/2020. His car was found in Newburgh, New York. We have nothing on him yet. Aaliyah Boomer, who went missing August 15, 2015. She was last spotted on 444 Columbia Street in Brooklyn, New York. She has still not been found yet. Shanice Harris, who went missing on 5/29/2017 from Rock Hill, New York. That is still on investigation going on with that one still. Elena De La Cruz went missing July 10th, 2000. And let's see here. I think it was 2021 she went missing. She was last seen at 11 p.m. on 1616 Grand Avenue in the Bronx. She has not been found yet. Joseph Help, who went missing on 1/16/1987 from Ellenville, New York. He was last seen on the mountains up there. There was a different story with this one, but he has not been found yet. Breaking news. Dave Allen was last seen in 2009 in Wilkes-Barre/Scranton area. We have spoken to the family today. They have not heard from him. There is a missing report filed for this gentleman. Hopefully, we can find out where he's at. Brianna Vidbert, last seen on July 15, 2009. She was walking from the Mobil gas station on South at 2:45 a.m. in the morning on South Saginaw Street, and she was heading towards Athern Road in Flint. She is 5'9", about approximately 120 pounds. She has a tattoo on her right shoulder, aka family. It says family on her right shoulder. She has tattoos on both of her wrists. She was wearing a cream color top with black capri pants and flip-flops. She has her nose pierced, her ears pierced. She has not been seen since 2009. Hopefully we can something come up with this one. Once again, Brianna Vidbert. She is still missing. The 14-year-old juvenile James Reyes, who was on an Amber Alert just the other day from Rochester, New York, he has been found safely. We thank everybody for sharing. Good luck to this young man. Hopefully, this doesn't happen again. We thank you for the Amber Alert for getting it out immediately. Our events. As many know, we have started our support group. 2 weeks ago was very good. It's working very well. Our next support group is December 3rd from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you'd like to register for our support group, it is free. We have a chat room for the support group during the week that we're not on. They can talk to each other. It's a great program that we're doing. So if you'd like to sign up for a support group, please email us at hopealive845@gmail.com. If you're struggling with a runaway, please contact us. Don't wait till the last minute. Contact us. We'll get you help immediately. Our toy drive has started. It runs into December 15th. So far, we're doing pretty good. We've been wrapping presents all week for the families. So we thank RJ Vibes 211. We thank the YIT Foundation. They're going to be helping us out. We thank Brittany Rose and her sister for helping us out as well. They've been very helpful with us. So we're still looking for more toys, more clothes. The families are starting to call every day. This is good because that's what we're here for, to help the families. So we appreciate all the help that we're getting. And let's just make a good holiday for everybody. December 11th, very important event we're having. It's called the Vigil Candlelight for all the missing people. All the missing people. We are being attended with Girl Val from New York City. A guest coming up from the city is called 911missing.org. We all been speaking through the whole week. It's time for change. We have to get this out there immediately. Too many missing people going on. So they're coming all the way up from New York City. So if they can come all the way up from New York City, then that means our local community can also come. We're already down the road. It is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We will be having hot chocolate because it's probably going to be cold out that night. But this is a very important mission that we're on to. So we hope that everybody can join us for that. December 19th, we have Santa Claus coming to Hope Alive. This is for the kids, for the family. If you're over 21, you want to sit on Santa Claus' lap, hey, please do. Santa Claus loves everybody. So, please join. That is December 19th. So hopefully we see a lot of people that comes out for that. And hopefully the Vigil Candlelight services is going to be amazing. We have so many missing people up in our areas. It's time to get the word out. We need everybody's support to do this. So we're going to be right back. Our first guest is going to be Kim Pound. A little bit about her. Her daughter went missing a few months back in New York City. The mother traveled to New York City to find her daughter on a mission. She found her daughter and she brought her home. It's very important that families understand that when somebody goes missing, this is real. This is not fake. This is real. And it hurts the families every single day. We've spoken to many families in the past couple of weeks, about their loved one missing. And you can feel the pain. You can feel the hurt. And this is why we are here to support them. So we will be right back in 2 minutes. Now that is just some of the faces that's missing. There's too many out there missing. Every day somebody's missing. A child, adult, a grandfather, a grandmother. Somebody is always missing. So we are going to bring Mrs. Kim Pound into our studio. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Domingo. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So I told a little bit about your daughter who went missing in the city.
Yes, she did.
And you, the mom, came all the way up to the city to find your daughter.
Yes, I did. I did. And two of my daughters traveled as well. She has a twin sister named Brooke, and she traveled from Nashville. Her and her friend traveled from Nashville to the city. And then myself and her other sister traveled from Watertown, New York. It's up near Syracuse.
Yep.
Well, down, I guess you'd say. It's about 5.5, 6 hours away. But yeah, we did. And we stayed and looked, and we stayed about a week and a half, I think we were down there total.
Yeah, because we were going back and forth almost every day about it.
Yeah, yes.
You know?
We were in Manhattan, and then luckily we got the call and found her.
That's good, because in the beginning, first we thought she was in Connecticut.
Well, we heard there was a tip. Somebody had thought they saw her in a vehicle in Connecticut. Yes.
Yep, and it wasn't her.
No, she ended up being in New Jersey. We found her in New Jersey. She was in a hospital in New Jersey.
So when this first started, what was you feeling? I mean, how was you feeling? Like, oh my God, my daughter is missing.
Well, I kind of had just a gut feeling something wasn't right. So I wanted to come down. She had just moved into an apartment. She hadn't been there long. And then, she there had a roommate that had just moved in as well. And she doesn't really know a lot about the city. So I just had a gut feeling something was wrong. So I had wanted to come down around the 1st. But because of the flooding and all that they had down there, when I wanted to come through, I couldn't really get through. So I waited a few days, and then her roommate found me on Facebook and reached out to me and said, Brittany's missing. Something isn't right. Something's terribly wrong. She hasn't been here. So instantly we did a police report. And her twin sister did a lot of that, talking and reaching out to the police. She did that part because they just kind of wanted to keep it with one person. But so we did an official missing persons, and we came right down, and we just kind of walked day in and day out, like 150, 200 blocks a day sometimes, just handing out flyers and, asking people if they'd seen her, and trying to reach out to as many people as we could, and get her face out there.
Absolutely. So how is she doing now? She's doing better?
She's doing better. Yeah, she's with me now. She's back home with me. She didn't know anything really about the city, and so she came back home with me, and she's glad to be home with family. I think it scared her being down there alone.
I'm sure. Especially in the city life, yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't used to it.
So where are you from?
Upstate New York, in a small town called Watertown, New York. It's about 45 minutes from Syracuse.
That's right next to the border of Canada, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Near Canada.
Yep.
Thousand Islands and St. Lawrence River. And
yep, I have a buddy out there who lives in Watertown.
Yes.
Yeah, he's out there. He calls me every day about up there or down there. I'm like, okay.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So, but
yeah.
At least on a good note, she was found safe. That's everybody's hope right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What could you tell the community, about what they need to do if they have somebody missing? They need to act immediately.
Immediately. Don't wait. we found it very frustrating because, you know, when we did report her missing, the detective that took the case went on vacation for a week. And, you know, then, and we're looking at it like the first 48 hours are the most crucial. You know, we don't know what's going on. There were other things that come into play that we were questioning as well. So it just was frustrating. So my best advice to somebody is don't wait, call immediately. Try to get as much information as you can, about everything, and just don't stop. You know, the city tried telling us we couldn't hang pictures of missing people around the city, so we just handed out flyers, and her twin sister taped them all over her body, and she would walk around and ask people, and we would just go precinct to precinct. We tried to make it into all 5 boroughs, you know, and just my thing was I've got to get her name out there. I've got to get her face into everybody's home. I need everybody to see this, you know. If she's not being seen on the street, I need to get inside people's homes so they visibly see, hey, this girl is missing. In case, you know, somebody was trying to help her and didn't realize it, or, you know, there was a million one things going through my mind. Did somebody abduct her? Was somebody trying to help her and didn't realize she was missing, you know? There was so many things going through my head. So my thing was just tell as many people as we can, and social media, I think, was the biggest platform that helped us, and spreading it that way. Yeah,
That's good
it
because
really was.
what gets me that a lot of people out in the communities, they don't care unless it happens to them. You know, and this
Yes,
is what we're trying to fight now because all life should matter right now. They all should matter. You know, it doesn't matter what color, what age, what
exactly.
gender, you know, rich or poor, they all should matter. You know, and when I talk to you about your daughter, the time that you're going through all that, I'm thinking, wow, you know, what could we do to push this out more? You know, because she's a young girl, you know, she's a pretty girl, you know, and these days, these people out in the streets, they're crazy. They're nuts out
Yeah,
there. You know, I mean, you
that's what
got
I was
girls,
scared of.
yeah, you got girls getting taken for sex trafficking. You know,
Hmm.
I mean,
And I
how
had,
can somebody do that?
yeah, that's what I was scared of. And then I had psychics reaching out to me saying, 2 men have your daughter in a basement in this building, and they're hurting her and they're sex trafficking her. And then this psychic would reach out and say she's in this building here, and she's hurt on her whole left side. And it would be enough to drive you crazy as a mom, because all these things are running through your head. But I just had to stay focused and stick with what I knew for sure, you know, and just go on with, try to find out, where did we last see her, which direction was she going in. We didn't get a lot of cooperation from the police like that we wanted, and that was extremely frustrating. Then after the officer that had it come back after a week of being on vacation, he watched videos and turned it over to the missing persons, you know, unit. And then the lady from there that took over, she went on vacation for 4 more days. So it seemed like no matter what we did, we weren't getting anywhere. There was a lady down there that's from down that way that helped me a great deal. She knows, you know, a lot about how things run down in the city, and she works a lot with helping find missing people. Her name's Erin, and she pretty much was my saving grace, to be honest. She told me a lot of different routes to take and people to call and who to go to, and, you know, call the hospital. She was calling hospitals for me every day. And then other people joined in and helping, you know, just different people calling hospitals daily, calling homeless shelters daily, just doing different things and reaching out in different ways. We went to business around where she lived, talked to business owners themselves, got video recording, you know, they worked with us pretty much, in which direction, you know, to go in to look for her. So we took all this upon ourselves to do it. We didn't wait for somebody to do it, the police or anybody. We tried to
Right.
go do it ourselves, and a lot of people did cooperate, and they did help us.
And that's good because once the community starts helping more, the more we're gonna find more people.
Exactly, because I didn't, what was very disheartening to me was the lack of empathy. And it was, I heard so much, ma'am, we have 1,300 missing people a day in New York City. Ma'am, there's so many people missing in New York City. Ma'am, it's so common in New York City. And it was very disheartening to see as we'd stand out there with flyers, people that would just shoo you away and didn't even want to look at it. And that's my child, and I thought, shame on you. I hope that something like this were never to happen to you or your family.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with you. That's why we're up here now. We're trying to push this change, with these police departments, state, whatever the case may be. If they get a missing person report filed, the organization that's verified through the state should get an alert immediately. So we can start
Exactly.
acting before they do, because they're not going to act immediately, and this is where the problem's coming at. And this is why, we hope that whoever, there's so many missing people right now. There's so many right now.
I see
And it
why,
keeps
though.
growing.
I see why. The minute they saw my daughter on camera, you know, disoriented and confused, it's almost as if she became a statistic. She was just another number. And it was almost as if they didn't even try to look for her and my book, they were supposed to make her a silver alert. Well, I had asked for them to, just because she does have some health issues, some mental health issues. So if they had done that, then we would have known where she was a lot quicker and a lot sooner, and it would have saved a lot of heartache. It would have saved a lot of a lot of money, a lot of people stressing out, worried, sick about her. We would have been able to know exactly where she was. And I just feel like we didn't get the cooperation that we needed in order to be able to do some of these things. It was like a week and a half after we found my daughter that the detective messaged her twin sister and said, "Oh, I heard you found your daughter. I was on vacation. We're glad you found her."
Yeah.
And this was a week and a half later. And I thought, wow, that's crazy.
Well, on a good note, your daughter's been found. She's safe. She's home. And hopefully we don't have to see her again, missing again. So we'll be better this time.
As my advice to people, though, if that happens, just keep pushing the issue. Don't stop calling. Don't stop, trying to get answers, and get the help, because it's just, I think it's so common that they don't look like they should.
Absolutely. Well, Kim, I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight.
You're welcome.
You're very inspiring. Happy holidays to you and your daughter.
You
and the
too.
family.
You as well. Thank you.
We'll definitely keep in touch throughout. We do have a visual candlelight coming up soon. Up here in Suffolk County. Yeah. We have Girl Val coming up from the city. We have 911missing.org coming up as well. So we're gonna start pushing for these missing people to be found.
All right, that's awesome. Well, hopefully I can try to attend. I'd love to do that.
It'd be great. We're gonna have hot chocolate out here. It's gonna be awesome. Cold night probably.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. And if I can ever help in any way, I'd be more than glad.
We definitely appreciate your support, and we will talk to you then.
All right. Talk to you later. Night. Happy holidays.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we will be right back with our next guest.
Tonight's episode is sponsored by the Reiki Bar. Relax, release, revitalize. Take a shot of healing. All ages served. Some things we do are Reiki, crystal healing, sound healing, aromatherapy, reflexology, healing touch, divine insight, classes, and events. Come visit us at 120 Sullivan Street, Unit 5, Wurtsboro, New York, 12790. Or call us at 425-245-4101.
We are back. That's our newest sponsor, the Reiki Bar. The Reiki Bar. A great place to go to, for relaxation. Make sure you check him out. He gives you some good deals over there. So Anyway, our next guest is the Ramirez family. Their daughter Cassidy, aka Cassie, went missing in the Bronx. A young girl, pretty girl. Um, the family was they just did a vigil for her out in the city 2 weeks ago. They did a wonderful thing out there, and now they're going to be joining us up here for the vigil up here as well. She is a young Hispanic female who went missing, and no, I mean she's fighting and fighting and fighting to get answers, and nobody's giving her answers, and you just don't up me, you just don't disappear. She's loved by so many people, and I've been talking to the mom, we go back and forth a lot, and we're actually gonna start getting flyers up soon up here because always keep in mind when somebody's missing, they could be anywhere. They could be in Canada, they could be in Utah, they could be in Miami, Florida, it could be anywhere. So we like to bring on the Ramirez family. Hi, Ingrid. Hi, Kelvin. Hi, Anthony.
Hi.
Rihanna's here. She's here, but she's in the background also.
Background where?
Rihanna.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, such a cutie. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Ingrid, thank you for coming back again.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Of course. You just attended a vigil up in the city recently. I saw the pictures. It was wonderful. There was some big statements out there. Cassidy, Cassandra. Young girl, pretty girl, 25 years old, right?
Yes.
25 years old. She had a baby, right?
Yes, she did.
She had a baby. Where are we at with this?
In limbo, sadly. I was listening to Kim speak, and the reality is that I encountered very much the same with Cassie missing from New York City. It was kind of more like an afterthought in a way. Some of the pictures that were seen of Cassandra, they developed an image of who they believed her to be or what their perception was of Cassie at the time she went missing. And so I think that altered greatly the response. Some of the comments I heard when I went to report her were, she's 25, leave her alone. Or, she's entitled to her privacy. What if she has a boyfriend she just doesn't want you to know about? She's entitled to that. And I told them, I said, today is my birthday. There's no way in the world that Cassie would not reach out to me. We made plans for the day. She was excited. She was on the heels of a very traumatic experience that she went through, and she was looking for comfort, and she was looking for, mom to make the nightmare go away, so to speak, and she was really looking forward to spending that time with me. She had actually spent that day with Rihanna, and they had a really awesome day together. And she, like, one of the last pictures that she posted on Facebook is a picture of her with Rihanna from their day together.
We have Girl Val and 911 Missing coming up.
Yes.
With us, which is great. Of course, we're going to get Cassandra's picture out there. It has to be out there, among the other ones as well. What do you think? I mean, in your opinion, mm-hmm. I feel that she could be still alive somewhere.
I do as well. I don't lose hope. I'm her voice, and as long as long as I have breath in my body, she is there. She's alive, and she's just waiting for me to come and find her. there's so much speculation, as Kim stated, there are psychics that call and they'll say the most horrific of things, and none of them have been positive. Her friends are pretty much very quiet on the subject, her so-called friends. Um, the person she went to go see, he's not really been in the picture. Her son's father is doing what daddies do, and he's being very protective of their child. And so he's managed to keep my grandson out of the spotlight, protecting him and ensuring, of course, the privacy for my grandson so that he's not as affected with what's been going on. But always with the hope that, Cassandra's alive somewhere. And I will not accept that she's not until, I have proof showing otherwise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now, are you coming back up to the city? I mean, you're over in Texas, right?
No. I'm in Colorado right now.
Colorado. Okay. Colorado. When are you coming back up? I mean, have they even been trying to call you?
Believe it or not, I actually had a very informative conversation with the new detective. So Cassie's case has been passed around a little bit. The bulk of the time, the initial detective, I think he did a remarkable job, despite a lot of issues that came his way. Some of the obstacles that he encountered had to do with, as I said, privacy, and having to get judges to have subpoenas. And, we had to show justification as to why we wanted her phone records released or her bank records released. And that takes time. And there's no way to streamline that. That's one of the obstacles that we've encountered. And some of them took months for us to get back. There's also the notion that if someone just up and walks out, that, I mean, there are cases, absolutely. There are cases where, someone says, I don't like my life and I want change, and they're adults and they're not affecting their kids. And so they're able to do that. That's fine. But when they come with someone like Cassandra, where she had a conversation with a family member, stating that she felt that she was going through some kind of, she just felt uncomfortable, and she felt that there was something off about the person she was with. And they didn't really take that into account. And I think that was an error on their part. I think whatever horrors my Cassie has seen from the time that she disappeared to now greatly falls on the fact that they did not take it serious. They were even giving me a hard time to even put her to even make the report. It was very difficult to get them to do that. I was there all day. And I was practically begging for them to take the case. And then thankfully, when they did actually make the report and they assigned it to the detective, I did have a detective where, I do believe that he was very vested in trying to find Cassie. Unfortunately, the area where Cassie went missing, there's a huge catchment area. And so, of course, they have to take murder, domestic violence and all those other types of situations that are happening at the moment. They have to take those. And so, but I can say for a fact that the lieutenant, if I would walk into his office even months later, and he's been very generous in speaking with me, I would see Cassie's file on his desk, which shows me it's important enough for him to keep it there just in case something happens. And I think that part of that happened because of the fact that I was so aggressive in ensuring. Am I still here?
Yep, here.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. So I think that because of me, being diligent and continuing to call them and continuing to, show humanity. It's not just a name. It's not just a number. She's a person. She's my daughter. And you know, as I would speak to them, I would give them glimpses of who Cassandra is. Cassandra is not a picture that you saw. There is a video of her exiting the building that she was last seen in, which they have not let me see it, unfortunately. Um, but that's not all of who she is. And so as I would speak to them and let them know who she really is, they would take that into consideration and they would really advocate for her, you know.
Right.
I know that many times they have tried to put it on media, and what, you know, so one of the things that I recently learned is that it's a timing thing. And so you want to put someone up that's missing, but if you have elections going on, what's going to take precedence, you know? If you have, you know, a catastrophe happening, of course, what's going to take, you know, preference. However, there are situations where just recently I was living in Wyoming, and where Gabby Petito, where her remains were found, and God rest her soul, and may God just bring comfort to their family, because I don't even want to place myself on where they're at, you know. um it was just like a whirlwind where every news station wanted to pick it up, everyone wanted to be involved, everyone wanted to help find her. And so it would just be nice if our girls were also given that kind of voice, exposure, if
Amen to
they,
that.
and that's, you know, however my daughter's journey comes about, or whatever resolution happens with it, I think it's important to continue being a voice to the voiceless. And that's kind of where I feel that our missing women are, you know, and that we need to stand up for them, because if we don't, who will?
Yeah, because they're not.
No one is. No, really.
Right.
I mean,
Right. You know, I totally agree with you with the Gabby Petito case. You know,
right,
yeah, it's very very sad that any female should get abused and end up like that.
right,
But and the other difference is that every missing person lives matter. You know, every missing person should get coverage.
right.
Every missing person should be out there. Just like so many millions, thousands and thousands of people was all over this Gabby Petito case.
Yes,
Sharing. But
mhm,
what about our people up here? I
exactly.
mean,
But I
they're
mean,
not being shared.
no, and you know what? It doesn't even stop there. And I'm sorry, but the name escapes me. I've been on some medication lately that my brain, I can't function correctly. But um, I remember less than a year ago, that woman in England, that we came to hear about her story here, and it just, it was an international kind of thing, something that happened over there. And so when I think about that, when I see those things, it really affects me, because I look at, like, can we take care of what's happening in the here and now with our own? And can we, like, what can we do? You know, it's not just throwing out or making accusations, or because that's not going to solve anything, you know. um did it happen to my daughter? Yes, my daughter went missing. My daughter was a 25-year-old female at the time. She made a judgment call, and she felt that she would be safe going out with someone that she trusted, and that trust was misguided. And we have to live with the consequences. I have to live with the consequences of that decision that she made on September 18th, when she decided to step out with this individual. um, but when it comes to how we proceed from here, what should we be doing? You know, how should we, as parents, as community members, as voters, how should we continue moving on forward? And what are the next steps? And what is the right thing to do for these women? And it's not just women that are missing. It's not, you know, we have children that are being, you know, taken out of our schools, of our parks, the mall, and they look for those that are the most vulnerable. And so, you know, where does it start? And we have to start peeling back that onion until we can get to the very core of how we can educate our young women, how we can um, advocate for them if this kind of tragedy befalls them, and what are the steps that we're going to have to take in order to ensure that our women are safe. Like, no one wants to live walking on live wondering, am I going to be taken away? Like, I have my youngest, Rihanna, that you met at the beginning. She is homeschooled. She used to be a model. She was represented by Wilhelmina Denver. She's a pageant queen. She's titled Little Miss Dominican Republic with Pure Pageant International. And you know what? We've been getting threats. So how do I protect her? And is it fair that she has to live in a world where she has to be afraid of having her picture out there or going to the store? Is that the message that we're trying to give our girls, that they have to be terrified because if they go missing, no one's going to care? That's not a legacy I want to leave behind. I am raising, strong, independent young girl, and this is what it comes down to. There's such a depravity out there of the way that men see and they view women. We need to educate our boys as they're growing up what a woman should be treated like. We need to advocate for families. We need to ensure that should someone go missing, that they're not just tossed to the side in a file somewhere, and that's what I'd like. Yeah.
Right. This is why every organization that deals with missing people, like us, like Girl Val, like 911 Missing, I think what we need to do is all come together.
Absolutely.
Because if we work together,
absolutely,
we got to have the more power that what law enforcement is going to have. We're the ones that's go out looking for them.
I agree.
Law enforcement is going to tell you come back in 24 hours. We're not waiting on 24 hours.
Right. I agree.
You get the call, we out.
Yeah. I think that it's not just a New York City thing. I live in an area where there are plenty of indigenous women, and they go missing from their reservations. And the way that the laws are, they don't have that protection. And I know that recently President Biden did sign something in effect for that. But in the same token, these are just little startups. We need to really find a way to let something be national so that our women are protected and heard. I think that one of the biggest issues is the miscommunication and the over communication between this agency, that agency, the other one, but none of them speak to one another. Right now, Cassie is listed on NamUs. She's listed under Interpol. There's a yellow notice out for her. I didn't even know that something like that existed. I didn't know what a yellow notice was. Well, I had to get educated, trial by fire. She's listed with the Doe Network. She is listed. There's just so many listings, but how many of them actually speak to one another?
Right. I totally agree with
that. And if we have a centralized number, maybe, or place where we can have all the information for every person that's missing, whether they're missing for an hour or missing for a day, or even a year or more. Right now, I have 3 years.
I'm working on it. I'm working on a case up here. I'm working on 2 cases up here. One since 1985 and one since 2017. And we fighting, and we're going to keep on fighting too until we get answers. So, but anyway, Ingrid, we have somebody else waiting for us as well. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Always a pleasure.
Day.
You too. I hope you come up for the vigil.
I'm trying. I know it's on the 11th, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So
you let me know.
I will let you know. I'm hoping that I can. I can't make promises just yet, but we'll see. You never know.
But we're gonna have a poster of Cassandra too.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you
we'll
so
get the
much.
word out. But you tell your family, thank you for joining us tonight, and you have a wonderful, happy holidays if we don't see you on the 11th.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, keep me updated. We'll work
I will.
together.
Take care.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
And we will be right back in a minute.
Where'd you go? I miss you so. Seems like it's been forever that you've been gone.
All right, we are back. So we were waiting on Stacy, the Gibbs family, but they're not here yet. But anyway, but we do have somebody that's in the back studio. You know, every day things happen, you know, between gun violence, kidnapping, sex trafficking, you know, drug overdose, you know, drug addictions. But then you get to being abused. You know, this is domestic violence is very, very big right now, you know, and domestic violence can turn into so many things. You know, domestic violence can turn into, you know, scared to go talk to somebody, scared to leave the house, scared to go out with your friends to the mall, scared to talk online to a friend. You know, it could lead up to murder. It could lead up to getting badly bruised, you know, scars over your face, your arms, your legs, your back. You know, we're against abuse. You know, we don't tolerate that. You know, abuse can turn into a missing person. If you think about this, abuse, if they were murdered, okay, now the person's missing. Now we're out looking for the person. Or abuse can have somebody to run away. We don't know what's going on our end. Oh, we know that somebody's missing. We don't know the circumstances behind the screens. So, but somebody's missing now. We have to go find them. You know, so our next guest, you know, she is a very popular journalist from Hudson Valley, Blaze Gomez. She experienced this. You know, she was involved with this. You know, and she's about to come on to tell us, you know, what happened. What was going on through her mind when she was involved in this abusive relationship. You know, so please, we're gonna introduce Mrs. Blaze Gomez.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Blaze? Long time no see.
Yes, thanks so much for having me on.
Yes. So I told a lot of people about what happened to you. You know, you was in a very bad abusive relationship. You know, which we can't stand. You know, we're totally against that. What was going on, Blaze, with you?
Well, you know, when you meet someone, unfortunately, they don't come with a warning sign that says, you know, I'm an abuser. And that's something that a lot of abuse victims are advocating for as a registry for domestic violence perpetrators, similar to a sex offender registry, so that when you meet somebody, you could look them up and say, you know, hey, is this person a domestic violence perpetrator? Have they been in a domestic violence relationship before? So we don't have that. So when I met this person, he presented himself as a down and out Marine veteran, someone who deserved a second chance, someone who was very doting and attentive to me, wanted to be in a committed relationship, and things were great. And we know from the pattern of abuse and the pattern of abusive relationships that that's how they start. It's the love bombing phase. And the person who's in the relationship thinks that this is fantastic. This person loves me. And so the abuser is skilled in getting his victim to completely trust them, to perhaps ignore well-meaning family and friends who might see some warning signs. And the person really becomes alienated at their own choice, by their own choice. And it's just you and that person. And then slowly, as they have built your trust, as what happened to me, things start to change. And so for me, I didn't understand how things could be so good and then all of a sudden become so bad. And so I spent many months, if not years, trying to fix things, somehow thinking that I was to blame. But in the process, an abuser is very seasoned in testing the waters to see how far they can go. So at first it might just be, verbal or emotional abuse, or it might just be, a slap or a push, or taking your phone so that you can't call, your aunt for help or your best friend for help. And then it escalates. And so for me, we were married by that point, and I was deeply ashamed that the relationship was so bad, and was doing everything I could to fix things. We were in counseling, but it just kept spiraling. So by the time I was pregnant with my daughter, things were not going great at all. I had filed for divorce. There was already multiple domestic violence incidents. And when I filed for divorce, things escalated. And he, put a machete up to his neck with my hand on it and told me to kill him if I was going to leave. And again, that's another pattern that, someone who's an abuser will do. They make you feel sorry for them and just kind of keep you in their web to stay. And so I agreed not to file for divorce. My daughter was just a few months old, and things quickly went, downhill from there. And within a few months, that was the final time that I'd ever seen him outside of a courtroom. In this actual bedroom, he tried to kill me. So it was, a brutal assault. I'm sure everybody is familiar with this Zach Stacy case, this NFL player that was seen on video just brutalizing his ex-girlfriend. And that really brought back a lot of painful memories for me, just the fear and terror in her face, in her mannerisms, trying to protect herself, protect her baby. And that was essentially what happened to me here in this room, except I was thrown around, had my hair pulled out of my head, was strangled, was punched repeatedly in the face. It was brutal. My young daughter was in the next room screaming, hearing the commotion. Repeatedly, I was strangled, screaming for help. And that night, when he finally stopped attacking me, thank God my son was home and was able to snap him out of it. But I never looked back. I called for help, and we were thankful by the grace of God that he didn't try to hurt us further until police could get here. And I haven't seen him again outside of a courtroom. But what I want to really impart on people, because people don't know what's happening behind closed doors, and people can seem happy on social media or when they're at work. They can seem like nothing's wrong and everything is wrong. And oftentimes people don't believe victims of domestic violence unless there's videos like what we saw in that case with Zach Stacy. It's oftentimes, a victim has to prove that something happened to them, even though they're screaming to the world, help me, this person's hurting me. And it's not unless we see videos like what we saw that people actually believe, how the brutality of this type of abuse.
Right. And being abused could turn into so many things. They could be like you, almost strangled to death, and now you got a missing person now. Now they dump them. Now, where's this person at?
Right. Just like we've seen in the local case, Petra Muhammad, her case, her husband was implicated in that crime, was never charged though. And her body is still missing. She's never been found. And that was a domestic violence case. She had, I believe, a restraining order against him. And there were prior instances of domestic violence.
Now, your ex-husband, he He was just sentenced, wasn't he, a couple weeks ago?
He was just sentenced on Thursday to 4 to 10 years, almost 4 to 10 years behind bars. So he'll be up for parole around 4 years, and then they'll decide how long to keep him. But in my case, the judge said that the records showed that he was a serial domestic abuser. He had had 9 incident reports of domestic violence spanning 3 women, not just myself. And the report, the pre-sentencing report, found that he would be a danger to any woman that he engaged in a romantic relationship with. So there's still so much more. I mean, victims need to be believed. People need to believe victims. When someone says, I've been strangled, I've been punched, oftentimes there's not evidence of that. When you're strangled, you might have some red markings on your throat, but it's not the same as if you have a, black eye or, a broken arm. We have to start believing victims. Somebody doesn't make claims like that for no reason. We need more support for victims in the court system. An abuser doesn't stop abusing just because they're no longer in someone's house or because the victim's no longer in their house. If they're out on bail, they're going to abuse the victim through the court system, especially if there's children. There's so much more that needs to be done there as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you were definitely one big survivor. That's for sure. I hope that a lot of other women who is going through this right now can hear this, and let them be heard. That they have to speak up, because the longer they keep waiting, the more it gets more worse.
Well, and the reason why I think women don't speak up is because a victim oftentimes will feel as though they're to blame. And that's what the abuser does. It's called gaslighting. It's a common term, right? So they'll gaslight someone into believing that they're to blame. So if you weren't wearing that outfit, then I wouldn't have beat the crap out of you. I wouldn't have punched you in the face. If you didn't look at me like that, I wouldn't have strangled you or hit you over the head with a beer bottle. So when you're so abused and you're so stuck in the fog, it's hard to believe that you're not to blame. And then when you find your voice and you tell people, I've been a victim, the first thing they say is, well, what did you do? What did you do to cause that? Or why did you stay? There's so much victim blaming. And, that's a lot of people just become crushed under that pressure.
Right. Right. Now, do you believe that in some points that women can also abuse the men as well too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've heard from countless viewers and fans that have reached out to me, men that have said, I've been abused too, physically, financially, emotionally. Oftentimes you do hear of cases where, men have been destroyed in the family court system, well-meaning fathers that, want to be in their children's lives. And there are cases, and, you hate to say it, but where the woman will purposely keep, the children away from their ex out of spite. And that's a shame. It really is.
Absolutely. We're going to have a vigil up here on December 11th. We have some big organizations coming up. One organization is all about the females, all about women. The Girl Vow. They're coming up. We're trying to get a lot of media attention out here for that. I believe one organization is going to talk about abusive as well too. While they're all here, we would love to have you join us that night.
Thank you. Yeah, send me the information. I'll take a look at my calendar.
Yeah, absolutely. But I like watching you. I watch you every day when you're on the news. So if nobody knows who Blaze is, she is a journalist for the Hudson Valley News. Is it Hudson Valley News? Yeah.
Yep, News 12.
Yep, News 12. You gotta watch her. She gets right down to the points. And we definitely appreciate her coming tonight. But you are a survivor. You are definitely a big survivor. We want to thank you so much for taking your time.
I see Zelda here. She's chiming in. Is that one of our viewers? No one understands. Why do you stay? Just leave. That's a really important point, because it's not just easy. It's very complicated, especially when there's children involved. So
that's a big problem, especially when there's children involved.
Yeah, it's a very complicated issue. And I think that as a society, if we just start believing victims and, giving them that space to voice their truth. I think that would mean the world to so many people, and that would
Right.
really help.
Right. I also feel too that if a woman or a male is being abused for so long and they go to report it, I truly believe that the law enforcement should really look into that situation
Sure.
instead of waiting too long.
So I'll tell you, Domingo, if I have a second.
Yeah, of course.
When I reported the final assault to the police, the Cornwall police here where I live in town, they issued me a restraining order, but I didn't get a restraining order on behalf of my daughter. And I said, why would there not be a restraining order for my daughter? I was strangled and almost killed, brutally strangled multiple times with her in the same house. I could have been killed. And the officer said, well, he loves his daughter. He wouldn't do anything to hurt her, would he? And I just looked at him dumbfounded. I said, are you kidding me? He could have killed her mother. You don't think that would have hurt her? And it wasn't until I showed him, I had photos of another incident where he had strangled me and kept me against my will. The nanny cam, similar to that Zach Stacy case, captured those images. And it wasn't until I showed him that something snapped for him. And he said, you need to go to the district attorney's office and get help, because he realized that his department was limited in what they could do to help. But again, it's not unless somebody has pictures or video that they're believed. Why wasn't it enough that I said this person tried to strangle me and tried to kill me, and that my son even said it? He was here. So there's so much that has to be done still in the way of domestic violence.
So if you could tell the community, what could they do if they are ever in a situation like you was?
Sure.
Well, what could you tell them?
I think reaching out to a domestic violence organization, advocacy organization is crucial, because they'll help you develop a safety plan. They'll provide you with an advocate, resources, even shelter if you need it. Fearless has always been an organization that has been close to my heart. They've helped me tremendously, in all of those things. Thankfully, I didn't require shelter, but they helped me with legal representation in family court. They've helped me with an advocate that's come with me to court appearances for the past 3 years, and just really a friend, somebody who understands and believes no matter what, even though you might not have family and friends that understand, or you might not even have family or friends. So that would be the first thing for sure that I would recommend. I know I've heard a lot of people say, oh, take self-defense or get a firearm. And, I think those things are great if that's what you want to do. But, unfortunately, that's not really, the answer here in that equation. As we saw most recently, and I keep going back to this Zach Stacy video, if she had a firearm, it would have been deadly for her. If she tried to fight back, it could have been deadly for her. So really the most important thing is to touch base with an advocate, someone from an organization that, can really help you safety plan and, get away safely.
There you go, guys, everybody. The one and only Blaze. Blaze, like I said, we thank you. We hope to see you on December 11th. I'll send you the information.
Yes.
It's going to be, hopefully it's going to be a good turnout, especially with the two organizations coming up from New York City. It should be good. And it's very important that, we get it out there about abusive, which is a big topic right now. And also with the missing people as well, too, because lately we've been seeing a lot of missing people.
It goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It sure does. And lately we've been seeing not one, not two, but more than 5 people a day going missing now. It's outrageous.
Absolutely.
It's outrageous. So, but until then, thank you once again, Blaze,
Thanks for having me.
Joining me tonight. And we'll definitely keep in touch, and I will send that information to you.
Yes, sure thing. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night and happy holidays.
Thank you too.
You're welcome. That was Blaze Gomez. Abusive relationship can be so strong. It could be so. It could be deadly. If you're in a relationship, and you're being abused, get out of it. Because we don't want to get the call that you're missing, and then we have to come find you. So we'll be right back with our next guest.
I was wrong. The words I spoke, I've been saying many things that are hurtful. Your tear-shed eyes, your fragile mind. Guess I'll be dancing on my own tonight. I know December's hard to cope with. I know I caused you lots of pain, but I did not mean to let you down this way. But I know deep inside I let your smile fade away. I let your smile fade away. I remember when we used to lay on the grass and watch the sun go away. But now you're gone, I let you pass by. I know I've said so many things that are hurtful. I know December's hard to cope with. I know I caused you lots of pain, but I did not mean to let you down this way. But I know deep inside I let your smile fade away.
Where'd you go? I miss you so. Seems like it's been forever that you've been gone.
Yeah, we are back. So yeah. So after their commercial break, I was talking to our producer and one of our board members, Mr. Thomas Crump there. He's on his way home now. So we were waiting for the Gibbs family. And apparently she's not on yet, but we do have somebody else on. We have Shanice Harris's mother and sister is going to join us tonight. If some of you don't know what about Shanice Harris went missing on 5/29/2017. Her car was found in Southwoods Drive in Rock Hill, New York, / Monticello, New York. So it's like kind of in the middle here. This would be the first case that we actually started on. And this is the reason why this particular case itself, it came to be a personal thing. I knew the mother. Me and the mother grew up together. We went to school together. And after working for so long, thinking about what could happen, where she go, what could have happened to her, where could she be at, we took it personal. And this is what started Hope Alive 8405. Shanice Harris is the one who started Hope Alive 8405. So as months, days, weeks kept going by, we started doing events, awarenesses events, and then I met Tamika. That is her sister. And Tamika started performing for us. But she is performing tonight, by the way. So you get to hear her voice tonight. So, and no, she's not singing "Dubai, diddy dum dum." No, she's singing a good song. So this case here, we're fighting for answers. Somebody in Sullivan County knows what happened to Shanice Harris. Shanice Harris was loved by everybody. She was a bouncer. She was a security guard. She was an aunt. She was she's a daughter. She is a daughter and she's a sister. And we're still fighting for answers. So we're gonna bring on her sister Tamika and her mother Elvia. There's Ellie. Oh, there's Shantae. Hey, there's Shantae. Hey, girl. And it's, oh my God, it's Tamika. Look at that. Look, she's already posing for the camera already. See? Like I said, Tamika's a nutcase. Okay. So, but anyway, Ellie, Tamika, Shantae, thank you once again for coming back. It's always a pleasure having all three of y'all on here, even though the father took off somewhere, probably with Dunkin' Donuts or something. It is what it is. So, Shantae, I met you last month, and I didn't even know who you were. I never knew who you were. You walk up in the office like you were knock somebody out. I'm like, okay. But anyway, thank you, Ellie. Of course, me and you go way back. Me and you. Yeah. And Tamika, we just started getting close. Yeah, we started getting close. Her performing, her dancing around, her jokes, makes everybody smile. So we start with the mom. Where are we at with Shanice Harris? Have they called you or anything yet?
I actually get the pretty much the same response that I've always gotten since day one is, whatever they have, they're working on it, making progress, but I can never be told exactly what's happening. So like I've said in the past, I have to take their word for it because they don't share information.
Now, me and you did a lot of interviews with people, and we would figure it would get out more. Right. And we would figure that somebody will step up and say something now, but that's not the case. Right. This is something up here in Sullivan County that needs a break. This street talk, it needs to break the code here. We need people start stepping up. Right. Shantae, what are you feeling about all this right now?
Just frustrated, upset, heartbroken, everything that you can feel when it comes to situations like these. It's just sad that when you try to find out any type of information, you have to barely hear anything after so long, or have to wait a whole week to get a call back and then still be disappointed. It's just frustrating, very, very frustrating when you just want answers. Like, we just have to go with what they say and believe that they are working on it, but we don't know.
Because they're not talking.
Yeah. Right.
Now, Tamika, where are you at in your state of mind?
It's touch and go. I think immediately when this first happened, I cut my emotions off very quickly because I knew I had to be strong for my mom, especially my mom. I think I'm in a place now that I have no choice but to deal with the mental side of it and the damage that it's brought. So the last few months, I've been taking time off from just like everything because I noticed I started disassociating. And so I started seeing and seeking counselors and things of that nature. So I think right now it's just dealing with the mental of it, what's left. I'm so
emotionally like done. It's hard. It's hard. And you know, anytime I do an event for my sister or anytime I do something in her name or honor, it literally takes at least a week of recovery because it's that reminder that I'm still going through this years later. Especially with me being the one who reported her missing. I think with me, it just hits different.
You know, when you report her missing, Monticello Police Department, and I will call them out because this is how I am. They told you to come back in 24 hours. Now, remind you, everybody, there is no law for 24 hours. Okay? We heard it 2 weeks ago with the ex-NYPD. They told you to come back in 24 hours. Your mom was in Florida. She was in Florida, and it was on you to make this happen. So when they told you to come back in 24 hours, you went back the next day to the sheriff's department.
So
they tell you what?
Well, this is what I'll tell you how it happened. I got a text message at 9 a.m. that Shanice never came home that night. I called my dad after I called Shanice several times and did not get an answer. I told him, this doesn't feel right. He said, call the police department. I called the police department. I said, my sister has been missing since 8 p.m. She has not come home. It is now about 9:30. I don't know what to do because this is not like her. And I was told, you need to wait until at least 8 p.m. tonight to file a report. And I had to live the rest of the day like that. So at 8 p.m. when I showed up to file a police report, a missing report, I was told, why didn't you come here sooner? And I said I did. And then I got questioned as if I was the one who made all this happen. It was crazy.
See, this is where mistakes happen. Okay. And this is why we're fighting for change right now. You know, because look what's going on. I mean, you've seen who we all had on tonight, and look what they're dealing with the police. You know, Ellie, I mean, you're in Florida. What was going through your mind? Like, wow, I mean, what, like, I couldn't imagine what you're going through while you're in Florida.
Yeah. Being that far away and not being able to, like, you know, assist, and I couldn't do anything. Unfortunately, I had to lay that on my oldest daughter, which is a huge thing to ask for, you know, and it's she's had to live with that. If I was here, I would have never did that. I felt helpless because I was so far away, and I laid it on her because I couldn't get here until the next day. And the worry set in, and I said to my husband, you know, what if, it's funny though, that night there was a thing, you know, it was like, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? And I looked at my husband, I was like, I don't. And I never had that happen before. I've always known where my kids are. And I said to him at that point, what if, you know, the minutes turn into hours, and the hours turn into days, the days go into weeks, you know, the weeks go into months, and then the months go into years. I said, I can't do that. Like, we have to find her. And it's literally, that's what's happened. We're approaching.
And then we're going on 5 years.
And I agree with you. There's more than one person in Sullivan County that knows what happens to Shanice, because she was She was a big girl. Like people, there's more than one, and streets talk, so they know. I don't know how they live with themselves, to be honest with you. Like, we have to go through our 5th set of holidays without her. That's so unfair. It's unfair. It's not right. And people don't understand until it happens to them. I myself would not have understood what I'm living through unless I had to live through it. It's opened my eyes in a way that I would have never understood this. And unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way. There's not enough awareness. No, there's not enough awareness. And it's not fair that families are literally destroyed. They're destroyed. And it's to go day in and day out and not know where your child is. And Shanice lived at home with me. All my kids we're close. We're close. We are. And another thing that I'm going to bring up, though, and it's sad, is the missing person, whoever they may be, end up becoming someone who they criminalize. They look at, well, what was she doing? Or what was he doing? Well, maybe they shouldn't have been doing that. It's always they look for something that they did wrong, and that's why this happened. That's not really what matters. What matters at this point in time is my child is gone. I don't know where she is, and I need help finding her. At that moment, it doesn't matter what they did or didn't do. It's about finding them. We'll deal with that stuff later. What's important is finding that person, and stop trying to criminalize those individuals, because it's not fair. Nobody asks to be hurt. Nobody asks to, God forbid, be murdered. Nobody asks to go missing. And it's not fair to criminalize those victims and their families.
I think when it comes to missing people in general, there just needs to be better training for police, for law enforcement. I think it's a lack of training, because there's a power in perspective, but if you've never gone through the experience, you won't have that. You can't relate to the people that you're trying to help. What needs to happen is sensitivity training. And how do we activate local law enforcement and get this rule that's this nonsense that we have to wait 24 hours. If I call the police department and I say, so-and-so is missing, this is not their behavior, they should be on it.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, I was just talking to one of the officials about some change that what we're trying to push. I was talking to 2 of the organizations up in the city, and they have already intact a bill already. So they're already starting to do a change up in the city wise, but we're up here. So what we're trying to do is that if somebody goes into a police department and they file a missing or runaway, whatever the case may be, any organization that is verified through New York State, it could be us, it could be somebody else, another organization, they should get an alert immediately about it. That's what we're trying to change. And what we're also trying to change too is that when they tell somebody come back in 24 hours, there is no 24 hours. They must take that report immediately. Take that report, because that first 24 to 48 hours is very, very crucial. I mean, Absolutely. It's crucial. If they would have acted immediately when Tamika went in there, Shanice could be here right now. We don't know. She could have been here right now. Yep. You know, I mean, this is what needs to change. I finally got a letter from the Senate, and I'm going to speak to him next week. This is what we need to do. If you want to help us, then help us make this change. We're here for the families, not for the politics. We're not here for the politicians. We're here for the families. If you want to get reelected for a politician, then you stand your ground with the organization. You stand your ground with the families. That's how you get reelected. You know, every single day we're getting tired, and we're getting tired of. I mean, look, I posted up today on a couple of sites about the vigil coming up. You know that they removed them?
Oh, wow.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me?
That's what I mean. No, that's compassion. That's
exactly.
Sad.
They could share anything else. They got mad at us because we posted up a Santa Claus coming for $5. They ranted about it. I'm thinking, really? But then somebody else posted up, bring your pet to get a picture of Santa Claus for $10. You know, people's going to that one. I'm thinking, wow, okay. Or if a dog or a cat is missing, it's all over Facebook.
Actually, I've seen that. Yeah, it's true.
Their lives matter too.
It's all over Facebook.
Their lives matter too.
But what about a human being? A human being.
No, and I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement. I'm just saying.
Oh, you gonna sign a contract with me?
Listen, though, I was gonna say that one thing that I feel law enforcement needs to be a little bit more mindful of and a little bit more serious about is the fact that you have to trust the families, and we know our people. We know our people, and if our people are never gone that long, and they should trust the fact that, you know, this mom said that this isn't her normal behavior, and follow through with that. Like, they don't trust us as knowing our people, and that they need to. If you have a daughter who,
I'm sorry, Mom.
No, go ahead.
No, I would just like to know what the police department's training on missing people and how to activate looks like. What that looks like. Because what it sounds like is half the police department believes that there's a 24-hour rule when the other half doesn't. You know, and the thing is if we're not all acting together and trained the same way, there's going to be mishaps. And I believe that one of the mishaps was my sister's case. You know, right. And what we want is better training. So that if this and when this, because it's not a matter of if, unfortunately, it is a matter of when this happens again. And, you know, people, we don't have them in our same position, because I would never want somebody to go through this.
Nope. See, that mishap caused this. We're going on Thanksgiving. We're going on Christmas. This is going to be 5 years now coming up on, you know, I mean, even the other ones like Mr. Gibbs says 85.
Yeah, that's
insane. You know, just like the young girl, Cassandra, you know, I mean, it's happening everywhere right now. And we need to step our game up and start making this change, because we have to be the voice of the voiceless. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's why on December 11th, we're going to be the voice of the voiceless, because we're going to make some noise out here. Mm-hmm. You know, answers need to be answered. Shanice Harris, Marvin Gibbs, Cassandra Ramirez, Stephen, they all need to be found.
Yes.
You know, it's as simple as that. Simple as that, because you can't go on every day feeling the way you do. Tamiki can't go on every day feeling she's the blame, she's the guilt, because, you know, she didn't know no better about going the 24-hour deal. It's not her fault.
Not for nothing. If I was here and I would have went, they could have told me the same thing, and I wouldn't have known no better either. That's why, like I said, awareness needs to be made. And most people think that that's a real thing, 24 hours. Where that came from, I don't know. But if they would have told me the same thing, I would have done the same thing as her.
Exactly.
Because I didn't know.
Exactly. And that's why we need our communities. Our community. We live in Sullivan County.
Right.
We live here. You know, we're here to change this community. But they have to step their game up and say, look, we support you. We're behind you. Let's go find this missing person. You know,
Right.
that's how it should be. I mean, you see every day on Facebook, oh, they're complaining about this, you complain about that, but what are you really doing about it?
Nothing.
You know what I mean? Step your game up and let's get together. Let's do it and let's make change. You know, I mean, every single day you see politicians rant about this, rant about that. Look, take that shit somewhere else. You know, we want to find a missing person. We want to bring
Right.
somebody home. You know, because Shantae scares me.
What were you gonna say, Sean?
No, I was gonna they say the whole 24-hour thing because they think that your loved one is gonna come back and they could be like, I told you so type of thing. But like we said, we know our loved ones, we know that's not their behavior and they need to believe us. And if they just acted at that moment we went there, they could be saving a whole lot more people. I know a lot of police are heartless and all that stuff, but they need to go beyond, you know, as if it was their own, above and beyond, as if it was their own. Like, what if it was your own? Like, try to put yourself in their shoes, and maybe a lot more people would be saved or helped or, you know, caught in the act of something. Because now, whoever did something to my sister is out here living their life, and that's not fair.
But I don't want to just place all the blame on the police department because the community is just as responsible because they hold their secrets. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the police department because the police department are with us on that side of fighting the community to get the answers. I think that the issue is there's just a insensitivity around missing people in general until someone you love goes missing, and that's the issue.
Right. And then they want the outrage. Like when Shanice went missing, like people in Monticello didn't seem to care at all. I put up flyers, they tear them down. Like if it was one of their daughters or sons, if it was somebody else, like it's sad. You don't get the support. I did not get the support from the community at all. Monticello did not at all. If anything, they were taken away.
Yeah, that's how you know more people
know
what happened, because why are we putting up flyers and they're being torn down by who? People that to me know stuff. Right. You know what I mean? So it's just terrible.
That's funny. That's funny because when we had our awareness event over the summer, you know, with artists that came out, we had flyers up and they were getting taken down. And then what confused me was that when we had a picture of Shanice on the flyer, it was taken down. But when we had the other event without Shanice's picture on the flyer, they stayed up. So that tells me somebody in Sullivan County does not want us to find out what happened to Shanice.
Exactly. That's so terrible. That gets me so angry. Just angry.
I know, because you scare me when you walk in my door.
A few people know, though. A few people know up there, and a few people are probably responsible.
Look, I see it,
if they're watching. Happy Thanksgiving,
you know,
enjoy Thanksgiving. I hope one day I'll just be good.
Hope one day they get a big turkey stuff. You know, yeah. But
right.
Yes, Diamond. Diamond, you're correct.
No, you're right, and you have every single right. You, Shantae, Tamika have every single right to be angry. You have every single right, because Sullivan County. Look, we're trying to help Sullivan County. We don't get no support either. You know, but us, you know, me, I have no filter. I don't care. I'm gonna come right at them. This is how we are. You know, and I know for a fact when we have the vigil on December 11th, all those Shanice friends that say they are her friends, let's see if they show up. Let's see if they show up.
Right.
Then we'll see who her real friends are.
Yep.
They want to be the voice. They want to get Shanice Harris out there. Then they need to show up and be the voice.
Right.
For their best friend.
Yep.
You know, because I know that you're all going to be here. I mean,
No, yeah.
Thomas might be in the office falling asleep in the chair, but I'm sure he'd be here.
I'm done with you.
Jokes. Like, why?
So, but so Ellie, Shantae, before we go, what do you have to say? Let's break it open. Let's get this community to start working with us, helping us here.
I would first want to say, we don't wish this stuff on nobody. Like, this is not something that you want to wish for your worst enemy. It sucks. It's just something terrible. And no matter what kind of person you are, you don't deserve to go missing, or the families to have to deal with a situation like this. And, I also just want to say, like, it sucks to be judged with these type of situations, because so many people hit up my mom or, one of us and say, if it were me, I would be out there doing this and doing that and swimming in lakes and all this stuff. Like, at the end of the day, you don't know what we're doing behind closed doors, and we're doing the best we can. And, that's where we lean on the police for things like this, because if we wanted to do what we wanted to do, we would be in jail, and we can't think like that. So we are doing what we can do. I just wish people would not judge our situation, because they don't know what we're doing. And it is nice, though, for everyone out there that is supporting, and we're forever grateful for that. And, just keep supporting, keep sharing, doing the best that you can to help every missing person.
Ellie?
What was
and
the
what about
question?
You? Oh, yep.
No, I'm thinking. I have a lot. No, the thing is, I have a lot going through my mind. So
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. That's why we're having Thanksgiving together. But anything you want to tell anybody? What could we do? I mean, what can they do to step their game up to find Shanice?
Well, first,
Can I take over?
Go ahead.
No, one, I'm going to say people stop coming out with false information and trying to be part of the story. Domingo, you asked me last week, what does that mean to be part of the story? Well, around the holidays, people seem to come up with information mysteriously that could help solve the case, and it never really leads to anything. Stop torturing the families emotionally, and understand that they are already going through enough. And if you're not going to come with substance and something that's real, keep it to yourself. Stop trying to be part of this. Because that's one of the sad things that happen when you have to deal with a missing persons case that I've noticed. Every year around the holidays, the assault on my mom's mind, because people want to come out of the woodwork and they know everything, but it never leads to anything. You've essentially killed my sister 1,500 times in 1,500 different ways, and my mom is distraught. And I would like to ask the community to please stop. I'm done.
Period.
Yeah, she just scared the hell out of me. She stood across from me.
No, but it is true, because the holidays in general are difficult, without your loved one and not knowing where they are. And people do end up making it worse, because I get told that, they know things, that they've had conversations, but they never want to drop a name. And the thing is you can drop a name anonymously. I don't need to know who you are. I don't need to know, like, there's ways to do things anonymously to where their name isn't even in it. Just drop that name. Because if I can be told something over and over and the same thing, oh, she's here, she's there, she's this, she's that. Okay, well, you had a conversation with this person. Well, who was that? Do you remember? Oh, I can remember the dates that I had the conversation. I can remember the conversation. Well, who's the person? Well, I don't know who that person is. Don't do that.
I forgot their name, or their nickname is this, but I don't know their last name. It's always.
My thing is, you're telling me something, but you're literally telling me nothing. And that they don't. Yeah, and those people don't understand what that's like for a family, for a mom, because it messes you up. That's all I can say. Like,
5
don't
years
hit me
of
up and tell me that you know all this stuff. And then when I ask you for a name, and obviously if you can remember a date and a time and a conversation, you know who you were talking to. Let's just keep it real. You know who you were talking to and you don't want to tell me that. Okay, so don't tell me that, but do it anonymously. There's ways to get that name out there. Like, think about it. If it was your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, your daughter, your son. Like, think about it. You know how bad I want to know what happened to my daughter? No, you don't, because you're not going through it. So think about that. Have that compassion, because it's unfair and it's wrong. And like my daughter said, you know, I've had time to think of so many things of what could have happened to Shanice, how it could have happened. I go to bed with images. I wake up with images. I wake up thinking, like, damn, this really isn't a dream. Damn, it really is going to be 5 years soon. Like, it's wrong. And somebody out here knows what I need to know to bring my daughter home. And I don't know why. And I don't know why they just won't release it. Because, like I said, a phone call from a private number, make a Facebook account. There's ways. Drop that name and go about your business.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, the community needs, I'm talking about Ulster, Orange, Sullivan, Dutchess, Putnam, Rockland, all these counties out here, right? They need to start looking up and saying, wow, this is what's really going on in our communities. You know, Shanice doesn't have to be here in Sullivan County. She could be in Ulster County right now. We wouldn't know.
Right.
You know, they all need to start work. I mean, the support for the families, the support for what we got going on, they need to start coming together. That's what they need to start doing. Don't sit here on Facebook and say, oh, we support you guys, and don't support you guys.
Right.
You know, that's their mistake right there, because we're going to catch on to that, which we already called on a few people already. You know, oh, we support this, we support that, but where the hell you at now? Where are you at right now? You know what I mean? I mean, this is going too far. It's going too far. You know, every day another person's going missing. Every single day. You know, we have over 500 people missing already in the Hudson Valley alone. Do they talk about it? No, they don't.
No.
You know, when Gabby Petito was missing, the whole goddamn Facebook was sharing. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people were sharing. The Boom Squad was out there looking for her. Bounty hunters out there looking for her. But what about our people? We're in New York. What about our own people? Yes, I'm very sad that happened to Gabby over abuse. I'm very sad about that. You know, and I'm not going to sit here and say this is a racial thing, because it's not a racial thing. But the problem is that people like us, like you, like us, we have kids that run the streets. We have kids that, you know, just plain up kids. You know, if they're not that important to society, but one person is, because they made a life story on Instagram or TikTok, or whatever you want to call it, it's not fair. It's not fair. And every missing person lives matter. I had a post the other day. Somebody asked me, well, why is it going to be all lives matter? Because it is all lives matter. It's not black. It's not white. It's not Puerto Rican. It's not Barney. It's not president. It's nobody. Every life matters. And our officials, our government, they need to start learning this. They need to start understanding that this is serious. Because sex trafficking, murders, abusive is very high rated right now. More than guns. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, gun violence is a big problem right now, but sex trafficking is more important right now. We have kids out there that's being taken from our backyard to be involved with sex trafficking, because these losers out there, they want to make money off our kids, off our children. And it needs to stop. It needs to stop. So, therefore, Ellie, Shantae, you still scare me. And Tamika, look, we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going. I think next Saturday, I'm going to get a bunch of volunteers. Let's get out there. Let's start putting more flyers up. More flyers up about Shanice Harris and Marvin Gibbs. Let's get them all up out there again. And let's see who takes them down. Because we're going to catch them who takes them down. And then we'll find out. So once again, thank you all for coming tonight. I definitely appreciate it again.
Thank you.
Thank you for having.
Of course, we'll see you all in Thanksgiving, I guess. See you all later.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
So,
Good night. All right. Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to be right back. We're closing and Tamika, who's going to be performing. We'll be right back in 1 minute.
I was wrong. The words I spoke, I've been saying many things that are hurtful. Your tear-shed eyes, your fragile mind. 'Cause I'll be dancing on my own tonight. I know December's hard to cope with. I know I cost you lots of pain, but I did not mean to let you down this way. But I know deep inside I let your smile fade away. I let your smile fade away. I remember when we used to lay on the grass and walk.
Okay, we are back. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Next Saturday, we will be on again at 8 o'clock. We have Mary Williams from West New York, missing area, is going to come on with a few cases that they're working on out there. We also have Sharon from the YIT Federation organization. They deal with a lot of veterans. So we're very happy that they're going to be joining us next week. So always remember, every day a missing person is either kidnapped, run away, vanish, sex trafficking. We as a community, we need to help each other. I know every week we keep telling this, we keep saying this, and we keep saying this because we need your support. The families need your support, because one day this could happen in your own backyard. So lastly, just remember our upcoming events coming up. December 11th, we have the Vigil Candlelight over here where we're at right now. We have 911missing.org coming. We have Girl Val coming. We've spoken to Blaze tonight. Hopefully, I'm with some information so she can come out here, get some coverage out here. We have to be the voice of the voiceless, people. We really have to be the voice right now because the families needs us and we need these families. We need them just like they need us. So let's help each other. So if you wish to follow us, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, Twitter. If you wish to donate to our organization, everything a little bit helps. It's www.hopealive845.com. And also, before I forget, our candy bars has come in. This is our candy bars, chocolate candy bars, everybody. Hey. Hope Alive. This is just a sample. What they're going to look like, so this is what they were saying. But what we're going to do with these, we're going to put missing persons face on these and get them out. And also, here's our teddy bear. as you can see, we have the gold little coin that said Hope Alive April 5 on it. So this is only a sample. Only the sample. You can pre-order if you wish. But yeah, they have come in. We're happy. We're excited for them. And we can't wait to reorder a whole bunch of them. So therefore, thank you guys once again. God bless. Have a great happy Thanksgiving next Thursday. Drink a lot of eggnog. Coming up next to close out is our very own Tamika Harris, who's going to be doing a live performance. She's a great artist. Until then, we will see you next week.
Hey, everybody. So I'd like to thank Domingo and Hope Alive 845 for this opportunity always to get to, I don't know, sing. It's one of my loves. So this is a song that you guys have heard before. And if you haven't heard it, then you're going to hear it now. It's called Don't. I have Yuki here. No, it's a little dark, but anytime you see me and Yuki, you know it's about to be on. Don't you give up. Don't give up on me. I've been battling these demons. Sometimes they get the best of me. I'm trying. I hope you can see. With this new moon, I'll set intentions to be a better me. Oh, I'm flawed. I don't let go easily. I know it's wrong, but don't give up. No. I promise it'll be worth it, yeah. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and you deserve it. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-do. Don't you give up. Don't give up on me. I've been battling these demons. Sometimes they get best of me. Thank you so much. And as always, thank you for supporting Hope Alive 845. It seriously touches the heart of all of us, of the families who are affected by missing people gone missing. So thank you so much. As always, just know when you support this organization, you're supporting those who are really hurting in the community. And we appreciate you for that. Thank you.